Symmes Creek and Morgan Sisters Trail in Wayne National Forest. It's a beautiful early March day. The hiking's been a little bit tough, but the views are well worth the effort. Things have gotten a little tougher since the intro that I filmed. Kind of reminded me of an old quote from Daniel Boone. He said, "I've never been lost, but I have been turned around for a few days." That's kind of how I felt out there, as the GPS tracks will attest to. I was turned around quite a few times on the trail just from lack of markings on the trail, blazes, even seeing where the footpath was. I actually ended up taking 2 different trips to complete all of Symmes Creek and Morgan Sisters Trail, but I have combined them here into one video, so it shows as you would hike the entire trail system in one fell swoop. Actually, even finding the trail was a little bit of a challenge. Here's a shot of the unmarked entrance to the parking lot off of Symmes Creek Road. Don't look for any signage at the actual start of the trail either, but it is fairly obvious going out the back of the parking lot and starting straight up the hill. First sign that shows you're actually on a trail. Just about a quarter-mile in, you get off the rutted X road. Directions here are less than real precise, but we got another arrow up the way, so we know which way to go. Trail markings are important, as the trail hasn't received much use since the leaves fell in the fall. White diamonds with colored dots were used to blaze the trail, but they could have used more. For example, after wandering around, I came back to an intersection where ATV trails cross the trail. That's actually just 40 feet beyond an unmarked trail intersection to the left. I've got it on a waypoint. It's a campsite at 2 miles in. Looks like the trail might go right by or through the campsite here. Nice fire ring, pine grove. There were numerous spots early on suitable for camping. Maybe 2.5 miles in, you start walking along Symmes Creek through a wetland area and start coming across some really impressive rock outcroppings. More outcrops as we walk down along the creek valley. Do not attempt this hike after a rain. It'll be ugly. It had been dry for over a week, yet there was still plenty of standing water around. We climbed up away from the creek. We're at an intersection where left-hand turn takes you back to the starting point on the loop. Right-hand turn takes you on a connector trail. You get to a power line. It looks like you should follow the power line. Do not follow the power line. At this point in the spring, it's unmarked, but there is a hard right turn down the hill. Take that turn. If you miss it, and you follow the power line, you'll be fine. Just follow the road a little further. After you drop down to the road, immediately cross the bridge, start looking for the trail to your left. The trail markers on the Schoolhouse loop are apparently white diamond with a yellow dot on it. Shortly after the second creek crossing on the Schoolhouse loop, the trail takes a decidedly uphill turn. Pick it up! Nice possible place to camp. We had just climbed up from the creek as a brutal climb. Over a half mile. Have to check the actual elevation change, but we climbed quite a bit in a short period of time. With trouble finding a trail in places, we ended up backtracking. Plenty of firewood, nice flat spots to set up. Should be a good spot to spend the evening.
Yeah, it went down to about 30 last night, but I'm pretty comfortable in a 10-degree bag, should be. Anywho, we backtracked to the first campsite, and it was just completely filled with dead ash trees, looking like they were getting ready to fall down, so rather than sleep under a widowmaker, we backtracked to the second campsite back. Still up on the ridge. Pretty good area to camp at, but this morning we'll take another shot at trying to find the where the trail actually splits off from the ATV trail. Didn't see it last evening walking up, didn't see it coming back here, so we'll give it one more shot, see if we can find it this morning. After breakfast, of course, biscuits and gravy.
Breakfast of champions. Actually a very pretty morning here. Still a little cold, about 30. Bill's air mattress sprung a leak, so not too good for him last night. So I guess if I start bitching about how hard it was to get the air out of my pad, I wouldn't get a lot of sympathy. Is that what you're saying? Before you even get out of sight of the second campsite from last night, you're coming up to a ridge. There's not a strong trail, but it looks like it goes straight. It does not. It takes a hard right around the knob, not marked at all near the intersection. But once you get around the side of the hill, this little dot here may be the only thing that lets you know that here's a turn. But once you get around the corner where Bill's walking, it starts being marked again. We're obviously the only people that have used this trail in a while, but after you wander a little bit, sure enough, there's some trail markings up here. So we're still on the right path, so to speak. More of these along the trail than there are markers, so at times we just followed the Bud Light cans. Somewhere around here, my first time through, I bore too far to the right, ended up in an abandoned road, probably off the National Forest Service property. I think we've got the trail marked down now. Here's a marker here, and we can follow this up to where we know the trail is again. Once you're over the ridge, you meet up with an old abandoned road. Take a left on it. We've made the ridge loop and heading down towards Coal Branch. We've been climbing, run along the ridge on the ridge trail, but keep your eyes open. It does kick off the ridge and start this downslope right here. Steep climb off of Coal Branch. We're going to walk down. This is Forest Service Road 615. We're going to continue down this road for hopefully 150, 200 yards, going by Kenton Lake, and hopefully find a turnoff up to the left. Campsite right overlooking the lake. And a real plus here is I've can see not one but as many as 2 trail markers at the same time. About a mile in from Kenton Lake, drop down a hill and start walking along the creek here. I've been along it for a mile and a quarter. Be a nice seasonal stream for water in the right season. About a quarter of a mile from the last intersection, 1.7 miles from Kenton Lake, come to a very nice campsite along Coal Branch Creek. Fire ring, places to sit, and you are also at the same point at the intersection where the connector trail hits the ridge loop. You can go straight or up the hill. We are going straight today. Been on top of the ridge from Coal Branch for just a little ways. Nice little campsite up on top of the ridge. And as we go past, we hang a left right by the first wildflower of spring. Still on Ridge Trail. We're actually heading slightly downhill, working our way up the creek valley, and then hang a left across the top of the valley. If you look back to your left, you get these nice rock formations, including looks like a full-on cave down there, but a little steep to get there, so this is as close as I'm getting. Very steep valleys through here. Made it back to the Schoolhouse Loop. Once you hit the intersection, if you turn right, that continues you on back to eventually Symmes Creek. Feel free to take the bypass here. First sign of spring. One of our more pleasant stretches. Signed fairly well. ATV damage is at a minimum, and just some beautiful scenery. Jumping. We are back. We're going to catch the connector trail back to the original loop where the truck is. Patriotic trail. Regardless of being lost, we're obviously still in America. Just about 4/10 of a mile down from the intersection of the loop. Dropped down a pretty steep hill during that period. I actually have a short bypass that just bypasses a sloppy spot on the trail. We've arrived back at the parking lot. Until next time, take care and keep hiking. Oh, and don't forget that subscribe button.